In this video, I'm looking at a free magazine that Dndshorts gave out as part of his Patreon to celebrate not using any more art that they didn't have control of in the magazine, and the 30th issue in a row for the monthly Patreon users. So we get a sneak peek at what everyone else is getting. It highlights the new bard that they're using, the Death Caller subclass, and it's called the DM Secret Weapon magazine, supported and distributed through our Patreon. So created by William Earl, Dndshorts, and Doug Wallace, with this little introduction. So we're going to look at the new subclass, the new race, some spells, feats, rift map, rules expansions on conditions, a few beasts, and a little adventure. So Will says this is the 30th issue. Every piece of art in this magazine created by Doug Wallace exclusively for this issue because of the Patreon support. So thanks to everyone who supports this magazine on Patreon or who wishes to purchase it through dndshorts.com. Head over there if you are interested. Now then, the Bard Death Caller looks mariachi-like. They are performers who commune with the dead, weaving music so vibrant it warms lost spirits and invites them into our world. So you can see them at funerals, memorial services, but they're not always welcome. They come with their hideous music and can be used for nefarious ways. Third level feature, Dirge Dancer. As an action, you can begin performing a magical performance of death, which lasts for a minute. You end it as a bonus action. Part of the action, you can begin this performance, and as a bonus action, you can choose one creature of your choice that can hear this as your focus. The target must succeed on a wisdom save or become frightened of you. It works better on undead. Death Rattler. Creatures frightened of you have disadvantage on saves while you're within 30 feet of them and you aren't incapacitated. Spirit Guidance. You are guided by the spirits of those who have died. You learn the Guidance cantrip or one cantrip of your choice from the Cleric spell list. 6th level Spirit Caller. You learn Animate Dead, Phantom Steed, Revivify, and Speak with Dead. Cast them without expending a spell slot by using a Bardic Inspiration instead. Spell's casting time becomes one action, and you can only do it once per long rest. 14th level Death Dance. You learn the spell Irresistible Dance. When you cast it, a target takes 4d10 necrotic at the start of every turn. And then they throw us a new race, the Myods, which look Myconid-like. They live under the sea. They are highly intellectual, measuring maturity not in years but mental acuity. If you wish to play as a Myod, your intelligence score increases by 2 and your strength by 1. 30-foot walking speed and obviously a swim speed. Dark vision. You have tentacles because you want to grapple things with your face, leaving both arms free. Ink Cloud, because you're a bit squid-like, heavily obscures an area, and you can dash away as a bonus action. If you're not underwater, you squirt, 10 feet, they make a dex save or you're blinded by ink, and you dash away. Advantage on intelligence saves, you can breathe air and water. Proficiency with stealth, because you have natural camouflage. And you can speak common as well as something else side with your DM. Spells, Sputter of Hope, Necromancy 2nd level. It's a reaction. So when someone, presumably an ally, falls to 0, you verbally say something as a reaction, you snatch the creature from the brink of death, you take 2d8 necrotic, but the target gains health equal to the damage you took. And then Giant Weapon. One weapon you touch grows larger for the duration, a minute, concentration as well. Your weapon doubles in weight. Only creatures with strength score of 17 can wield it, otherwise they drop it. The weapon reach increases by 5 feet and does 2d6 extra damage on top. That is very useful. We have Chaos Light, a 2nd level evocation spell, one action, verbal and somatic. You conjure a chaotic helix of light that spirals towards a creature. They make a con save or they're blinded. The colour of the light is random. You turn invisible. The target takes 2d8 necrotic. Use your bonus action to turn this into a cantrip instead. Both of you take 6. Both of you regain 2d10 health. You can choose to take 1d12 necrotic damage, which cannot be reduced, but if you do, you regain spell slot. Love it! The training ground feat, Gish Warrior. In battle, you entwine spell casting and weapon fighting. Increase in ability score by 1. You learn a cantrip of a sorcerer. If you use the attack action, you cast a cantrip with a casting time of 1 action as a bonus action. Once you use this feature, you cannot do so again till you rest. If you cast a spell using an action, you can make a single weapon attack as a bonus action, and can't do that again till you're at a rest. Magical Conduit, increase ability score by 1. If you fail a save, use your reaction to add a d4. When a spell attack hits you, use a reaction to add a d6 to your AC, and you gain 1d6 temp hit points. And then Aerial Acrobat, you're a master of flight. You must have a flying speed already. Increase your strength or dex by 1. Flying feet goes up by 10. Ranged attacks against you have advantage. While flying, you can take the dodge or dash action as a bonus action. That's going to help some characters out vastly. So these are some maps that they've drawn up. They're all gridded and beautiful. I mean, this book gives you everything. So unlock the rest of the DM's secret weapon magazines by subscribing at the red or gold dragon tiers for puzzles, random tables, map variations, monsters, and a full adventure every month. God damn. So we thank the Patreons for making this possible. Dragon Pack, cool art or what? So new conditions. After introducing the freezing, cursed and inebriated conditions, we're back with some more conditions. Burning. I've not looked at this. I just seen what I thought. I automatically do 1d6 burning every round extra if someone's on fire. A burning creature sheds 10 feet of bright light. They take 1d10 fire damage, so a little bit stronger than mine. So that means I can increase mine because Will's done his. The burning condition ends on a creature if it is fully submerged, in water. Usually if someone tries to quell the flames, The burning condition is essentially being on fire. It might be triggered by taking a crit hit from a fire elemental, rolling a nat 1 to avoid a fireball, or as a penalty for storming through a building. If it makes sense for things to be on fire, go with it. Magical items, Pyrotechnician's gloves. It's wondrous. While wearing the gloves, you gain a +1 to spell attack rolls and resist fire damage from the burning condition. When you score a crit with a spell attack that deals fire, the target of that spell ignites in flames and suffers the burning. Alchemist's blue flask. Alchemist's flask of blue flame. The sticky, adhesive fluid ignites when exposed to air. As an action, you throw the flask, it smashes. It's a ranged creature. On a hit, ignites in flames. Magical burning. Can burn underwater. Being submerged in water does not end the burning condition. Whoa, that's a surprise. Wounded condition. A wounded condition has vulnerability to the normal bludgeoning, slashing, piercing. That's half hit points then, I guess. The wounded condition ends if the wounded creature takes an action to attempt to stabilize it. Medicine check to stop it. And this is the vulnerability to other damage. That is I don't know if my players would like that. The wounded condition attempts to fill the space between negative debuffs to blinded, the frightened, and turn-stealing, stunned, paralysed. Okay. Rather than demanding immediate action, it offers a choice to the target. Fight on and risk massive damage, or take a turn off to attempt to heal. This is a far-reaching book of ideas already. Why don't literal D&D themselves do things like this? The wounded condition might be triggered by a crit from a weapon attack, taking over 50% of damage from a single instance of bludgeoning, slashing, piercing, or triggering a spiked trap, for example. Wounding blade. Any sword. You gain +1 to the attack and damage. We all like that. When you score a crit hit against a creature using the weapon, it is also wounded. Vicious strike. It's a touch. Melee spell attack against a creature you can reach. It takes 4d12 necrotic and is wounded as foul magic courses through its body. Nice. That's something you can just add to a monster's attacks. Keep things fresh. Bestiary. Golden Golem. It's large. AC 15. 105 average. Immune to acid, poison, or psychic. Cannot be charmed, exort. Can be stunned. It's got Dark Evion. That's good to have. The Gold Golem was awakened by an offering of blood. It deals an additional 1d10 necrotic damage with its weapon attack. If it was awakened by an offering of magic, you can use a bonus action to cast Blur, Enlarge, Reduce, nice, or Mirror Image, all good. 2 slam attacks, +7, 20 average, that's how I do it. Rock, +7, 32 average, damn. The Abyss Sphinx, again, large, AC of 16, natural armour, 136 health, 40 feet movement on land and flying 60 feet. Immune to force, which is rare. necrotic, psychic, and necrotic. Oh, it's doubly immune to necrotic. Radiant, 3 times a day. Resists a failed save. Advantage on spells against blah 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 blah. The most commonly thing I read out in my videos. The Abyss Sphinx can take a reaction once per turn rather than once per round. Woof. 2 attacks with its claws, and between its claws and its lesser magic surge. +9 for 18 magical slashing. Or a surge of magic blasts out. Make an intelligence saving throw of 18 or take 2d6 necrotic, then 2d6 force, and 2d6 radiant, smashing its enemies to pieces. The greater magic surge chooses 10 creatures. What? The targets take a charisma saving throw of 18 or roll on the table. 10d6 force. Cannot make any attack rolls with advantage for the next minute. 4d8 radiant and cannot concentrate on spells. Nice. 6d10 necrotic, cannot take reactions. This is so well thought out. Deals an extra 1d10 thunder damage when it hits all creatures within 15 feet. Brains behind these things should be working for the official teams. Goldworm, huge. 17 AC, 168 just the average. It burrows. Immune to your fireballs, immune to poison, bludgeoning, slashing, piercing from non-magical, non-silvered weapons. Blind sight, tremor sense. It knows you're there. It resists 3 saves. Has the advantage on saving throws against magics. Molten metal. The creatures that start their turn within 10 feet of the worm takes a d10 fire damage. And then, if it touches you, smacks you, kisses you, you take another 1d10 fire damage. This thing loves a good kiss. The goldworm makes 2 attacks. I just decided that. Melee attack. Bite +10. 19 piercing. And its fiery tongue. 16 fire damage. Its tail comes round. +10. Reach of 20 feet. Oh yes. 19 bludgeoning, plus more fire damage of 11. Vomit gold. It spews molten gold at you. DC 17 dex save. 12d10 fire damage. You become encased in gold and has full cover. But disadvantage on death saving throws. Yeah, okay. The Dundian Dungeon is a challenging adventure. Right. Here we go. We have GM versions of the maps. Read through the adventure once before running it for your players. Good advice. Many people hear of this ancient dungeon. Small party of adventurers uncovered it. The ancient well acts as a gateway to beneath the desert. They have not come back. The party have been hired to go and find what happened to them, I guess. Old Man Glumpkin, an eccentric cleric blessed with unorthodox magic. He can call back spirits from beyond the grave, but only if he knows their true identity. There are 6 missing adventurers in that party, presumed dead. The antechamber doors. The first floor of the Dundian dungeon is an arid and stifling antechamber. Ever-burning torches. You go down a staircase. You find golden doors. Inscribed is, if a spellcaster dares, place your hand upon this door and offer a tribute of magic. Put a spellcaster in it. If a warrior dares, place your hand and offer some blood. Okay. Have them roll 1d6 plus 1. They lose spell slots of a combined level equal to the result. Oh, wowzers. And someone who's not a spellcaster does 66 health off them. Necrotic damage. I guess if they don't take necrotic, that would be lucky. The golden golem. In the room behind the open door waits a golden. Well, it just smashes you straight away. Okay, so if you're a spellcaster using the spell slots system, the golem gains spellcasting. If it was a melee guy who opened the door, it gains its necrotic blows. Roll initiative. If the party destroys the golem, the character who offered blood or magic regains them back. That's very good. That's so obvious and yet not thought of until now. In the golem room, there's an adventurer's corpse. It's been totally crushed. Beside it lies a small, bloody rock and pristine hide armour. The armour appears undamaged. The corpse lies next to a crack in the right-hand wall. This is the corpse of Loveday, the druid. She was crushed while in her wild shape by the thrown rock after sneaking into the chamber through a tiny crack in the wall. Clever. Behind the antechamber door, the passageway leads to the stairwell, is an open, plundered chest. Beside the open chest is an exposed, spiked pitfall trap with a corpse inside, golden tipped spikes dripped with poison. This is Kenrith, the paladin. A player can attempt a sleight of hand to get a vial of poison. You can put it on a weapon. It deals 2d8 poison damage. The Grand Tomb's prismatic door. Descending the stairwell leads the party to a cool, clammy room. There is a barred iron door, 2 lanterns either side, and it says, "Complete the prismatic lock to move forward." The room splits into 6 small chambers, each housing a shrine. Each shrine radiates different colours of light. If you step into the light, you make a DC 13 con save or suffer a negative effect. Fire damage, acid, lightning, cold, paralysed for a minute, blinded for a minute. In the yellow shrine room, there's an adventurer's corpse wearing no armour. Its flesh is blackened, its robes appear undamaged. Beside it is a book, a magical shifting script that requires DC 14 Arcana check to decipher. This is Samar the wizard, who died as a result of lightning damage from the yellow shrine. The severe electrical energy that burned through the body has charred her corpse beyond recognition. You can get prismatic wall out of the burnt spell book. The lanterns must be lit to complete the prismatic seal. The only missing colour is green, which relates to poison. Dealing any amount of poison damage to the lanterns either side of the door will cause them to light, and the iron doors will melt into nothingness. The party will be aware that poison can be recovered from that poison trap. Beyond the prismatic door sits that horrible abyss sphinx. It speaks in a hissing, arrogant whisper. I can race but not run. I can break without tearing. You have only one, but you hope for a pairing. I can beat, I can thump, but can't punch or pummel. I can skip but not jump, and if I stop, you're in trouble. The answer to this is heart. Oh, I was going to do that. Answer it or attack. There's a paving slab at the centre of the chamber that will open, revealing the way forward. This riddle first appeared in a different... Well, that's fine. Absolutely fine. That's cool. Grand Tomb Corpse. In the room to the right of the Grand Tomb is a corpse, a cruel slash of claws, torn the torso almost in two. No armour. An investigation check discovered that the knuckles have been dusted with gold, identical to the guy's punch the golem. This is the corpse of Nell the monk, who died at the hands of the Abyss Sphinx. Okay, it's obvious. Road to the Golden River. It's wet and sweltering, sickly sweet, powerful aroma, with sharp metal edges that seem to burrow through the nose and mouth and linger on the tongue. Gold webbing is strewn across this tunnel. The webbing looks flexible, but it's actually hard as steel. Alternatively, dealing acid to it will melt it. Party enter via a 10-foot drop down into this area. Its head is missing. The body wears light armour, and by its side are a wizard's scrying gem, a golden locket bearing a holy sigil, 3 vials of biting acid, and a +1 mithril dagger. Helena the rogue, who pilfered some trinkets from her fallen allies, as they would. Golden statue, life-size statue of a roaring barbarian, rendered in stunning detail. Ah, yeah. It's been got by the Goldworm's vomiting greed attack. There's a hole in the earth which leads to a running river of molten gold. The heat is unbearable, causing the air to shimmer and dance. A goldworm bursts up. Defeat the goldworm, and the party is free to return to the surface, where old man Glumpkin awaits them. For every corpse they successfully identify, a spirit will ascend from the desert sand and give them 2,000 gold. With the grim fate of the previous adventurers in mind, first-hand knowledge of the monsters that lurk beneath the desert, the question is, what do they do next? Vial of biting acid. As an action, you can splash the contents of this vial onto a creature within 5 feet or throw it. It explodes. It's acid damage. 4d10 acid. Now, we have a look at these maps. Area 1, you come... Oh, this is going to be brilliant to expand on my telly. I normally fire it to my TV and fill the picture. Just great art. This is better than regular books I do DM guides for. Yeah, credit to our artist friend. Or is this it? I don't know how to say that, but thank you. Yeah, this is absolutely gorgeous. Great maps. And we're back to the 2 different versions, one with grids, one not. Your rift at night, cool eyes looking out. Rain, beautiful. Grid or not grid. Shimmering light. That's a rift magic grid. So you can choose your style. Imagine getting one of those every month. That is worth it. And you know, Will, I've spoke to him in private messages. Will is the loveliest D&D man, possibly the loveliest man I've ever met. He's so giving. He sent a birthday message to my son, video recorded. He always answers my questions and when I'm pestering him, and he's just the loveliest guy. So please go over there and reap the benefits that he provides, and I'll see you in another video.